Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway, where everything's made up and the points don't matter. That's right, the points don't matter, just like your luggage tags? That's today's topic.
He's a TA and he's gonna talk. Let's join Matt for today's TA Talk.
Hey, happy travelers, and welcome into this week's installment of the TA Travel Agent Talk, where we go over all kinds of topics, things, and insights that I have through my job every day as a travel agent, and I share them with you here in the TA Talk series. So if you missed any of the other videos, go back and check them out. We got a running playlist. Might find some useful information there. But for today's video, I want to talk about luggage tags, why they don't really matter, why they're not as important as you might think, why you should stop stressing about them. So what are luggage tags? What am I talking about? Well, very important distinction. I am talking about your embarkation luggage tags for your cruise, the ones that you would attach to your luggage before your cruise begins when you're going on the cruise ship, not the luggage tags that the cruise line will provide to you during your sailing to use during disembarkation. Those are different. Those are more important. Not talking about those. Talking about the ones before the cruise starts. It looks something like this. And come in all kinds of different shapes and colors, and they have all kinds of information on them. So what are they? They are literally just to let the porters and the port staff and the ship staff know where that luggage belongs, what stateroom it needs to go to, what area of the ship, whose luggage it is, so they know where to deliver it should you drop your bags with the porters at the terminal there when you go to board your cruise, because you do have the option of carrying your bags on with you, and of course then these luggage tags would really be irrelevant. But should you do what most people do and drop the bags with the porter there, curbside, you would want those luggage tags on there to let them know where that needs to go, what stateroom it needs to get to. Now, as we talk about what these luggage tags are, I'm going to also answer some frequently asked questions that we get from clients and viewers alike about the luggage tags, one of which is how do you retrieve them? How do you get those luggage tags? And this is the area where most people start stressing, and I promise you, you do not need to do that, and I will explain why in just a little bit. But how do you get your luggage tags? Well, it depends on the cruise line. For Royal Caribbean, for example, when you complete your online check-in, you then have access to your e-docs, your electronic documents, and the luggage tags are usually the next to last page of that PDF. A lot of people ask about how to find them. Of course, Royal Caribbean is what we do the most of. I always say that. So for Royal Caribbean specifically, once you have your e-docs available, you'll know, because when you go on Royal Caribbean's website and you log into your account and you go next to your reservation, there'll be a little drop-down menu that says View More Details. And when you drop that down, it'll either say there are no e-docs at this time, or there are no documents at this time, or it will have a link. It'll say View e-docs, and you click that. That brings up the PDF with all of your e-docs on there. And again, the luggage tags are usually the next to last page of those, so you print that out. It works very similar for other cruise lines. Disney Cruise Line is a rare example of where they still mail you physical luggage tags for you to use for your voyage. Now, another question that we get commonly asked about the luggage tags of, okay, we found them, we retrieved them, we've got them, they were mailed to us, whatever. How do we attach them to our bags? It's actually pretty self-explanatory. The luggage tags usually do come with specific instructions on how that particular cruise line wants you to attach them to your luggage. I think the Disney Cruise Line ones still have the self-adhesive, so you just pull off the end and it sticks together on one end, kind of makes a loop around the handle. Other ones may want you to tape them or staple them or fold them. Some say do not do that. They will tell you the instructions. However, what we have found the best absolute way to do them is to purchase something like this. You can find these on Amazon. In fact, we have them listed in our Amazon shop, which the link you can find in the description of this video. And you'll want to make sure you get the right ones, because the luggage tag sizes do vary by cruise line. So Carnival's, for example, will be more like this, where it's a lot wider. Royal Caribbean's are more narrow, so it just depends. But it will have it listed there on the listing for these. But these are kind of like, vinyl or heavy plastic or whatever. And it has this nice little slot here, so you can just fold the luggage tag, slide it in, zip it up, and it's locked. It's protected from water or the weather. It won't get torn. It won't get damaged. And then it has this nice little metal braided loop that you can put on and screw to attach to your luggage wherever you choose to. So really simple. definitely our recommended way, but just follow the instructions. If you don't want to buy these, don't have these, just follow the instructions that the cruise line provides to you about how to attach those to your bags. Here's the funny part. I'm giving you all this information about what to do with these luggage tags, where to find them, what they are, how to attach them, all of that, just to end up telling you that it does not matter, like I said at the beginning of the video, and I don't mean to sound like I'm screaming it from the mountaintops, but I just see so many people who stress themselves out with these luggage tags, worrying about not getting them in the mail from Disney Cruise Line or not finding them with Royal Caribbean or what's going to happen with my bags. And I'm here to tell you that luckily it doesn't really matter. And the reason why, as I said, the purpose of these tags is just to let the crew know where you're staying and where these bags need to be delivered to. So if you don't have them, fret not, because what you will do when you arrive to the cruise terminal for your cruise, you will go to the porter and you will say, "I do not have my luggage tags." And they are going to have a quick flick of the wrist, a swift strike of the pen, and they will write you a handwritten tag with all the information it needs and put it right on the bags. I used to do a very similar thing when I worked in Bell Services at Walt Disney World Resort. You just fill out the information you need onto the bag. It's really that simple. That's all it is. So if you don't get them in the mail, you can't print them out, whatever the situation is, once you get there, just let them know. They will write one out for each and every piece of luggage that you are leaving with them. They'll ask for your name, your stateroom number. You just give them all of that, and then that will help them put the bags where they need to go. There is a contingency plan in place, so fret not. And I like to say that. I don't want to sound, again, too commandeering, too aggressive with it. I just want people to relax and enjoy. That's what the cruise is all about. After all, it is vacation. It is fun time for most of you. Some of us, it's a little bit more work. But for most people, it's fun time. And it's not a time to stress or worry. And this is one little thing that you just don't need to worry about. You know what? When it comes to cruising, we can put it as simple as make sure you have your documents, so your passport, your birth certificate, whatever you're using, and your medication. If you have those two things, you can figure out the rest, all right? So don't stress too much. Definitely don't worry about those luggage tags. They are pretty insignificant. All right, a simple topic, but one I felt I should address. We do get a lot of inquiries about that, so thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and make that the topic of today's TA Talk video. But with that completed, it is time to move on to our reoccurring segment here on the TA Talk. Spider-Man Potato Head swinging in with your questions we have asked on Instagram and YouTube for your questions, your inquiries to me about being a travel agent, working as a travel agent, working with a travel agent, all this kind of stuff, whatever you'd like to know. And if you have any suggestions for future TA Talk video ideas, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. And leave your questions so we can address them each and every week. All right, let's get started. Got to, hear that? Got to jumble them all up. Random pull here for question number 1. This is from YouTube. And this is from Jared's videos. Question reads, how can I tell if you are upselling me to make my vacation more enjoyable or upselling me to increase your commission? Well, Jared, I can tell you're a trusting individual. No, it's actually a pretty good question. And the truth of the matter is, I personally, I can't speak for other agents, I don't believe in upselling. I think that's a dumb idea, to put it very bluntly, because if I upsell you just to get more commission, which it's going to be not as much as you would think anyways, but it would be dumb for me to do that. You're going to know that. Once you go on the trip, you're going to be like, oh, this wasn't what he was saying, and then I've just lost a client. I'm looking to build long-term relationships, sustainability with our business. We're always about being upfront and honest. I don't believe in upselling. In fact, a lot of advice about doing sales like this will tell you to start high and work back, and we usually tend to do the opposite. If people come in and say we want a balcony, then I price out a balcony. But if you just say we're looking at this cruise and you don't know what stateroom category you want, I usually start with the lowest and say, well, it starts here. So you know right away, can you afford this cruise or not? And then we'll work our way up. That's just the only way it makes sense to me. All right, question number 2. This one also appears to be YouTube. YouTube, I've learned, is rectangular, and Instagram is more like a square. This is from Jacqueline Carter, our client, friend of the channel. Jacqueline asks, what's your best/worst TA experience? Of course, TA, travel agent. ever had a very hard to please client? Well, the good news is the best or the good moments far outweigh the bad ones. Of course, this is a job, so you will encounter things that may not be ideal. I'll start with the bad and get to the good because I like to always end on a high note. Yes, we have had, I wouldn't say a very hard to please client. I would say someone who was not being realistic and being honest, not being very truthful, and I had to end that working relationship with them. But that was an outlier. That's not the typical. Most people are very willing to work with things. Most people are very realistic. And again, being upfront and honest with them from the beginning helps curb a lot of that. So really don't have too much in regards to bad things or hard to please people. We try to just steer them in the right direction and get a good footing from the beginning. As far as the best experience, I would say that it's definitely got to be all the times that people say, hey, you really helped make this easier. You helped reduce our stresses, our anxieties, our worries. The videos were great. Your assistance as a travel agent was great. And we had a fantastic time. And you can really start to make a connection with people. And to be honest, this can kind of go good or bad because you'll hear about things like it was our last trip with our grandpa or something, which is obviously very bittersweet. You're glad they had a good time, but it's obviously on a sad note. And we have had, unfortunately, some clients pass away or things like that. You have to hear about that, and it's very unexpected, and it can be very unfortunate and challenging. And that's something a lot of people don't think about doing this line of work. You think it's all fun and games, you're cruising, and a lot of that is the case, but sometimes it can go bad. But like I said, I like to end on a good note, so definitely when we hear about those things, you help make this a special moment for me in this challenging time. That really hits home. All right, we'll do one more here, one final one. This comes from Amy M on YouTube. Thanks for being the best TA. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. It is so nice having a TA that responds quickly and makes sure you understand everything. Well, thank you so much, Amy. That is our pleasure, and that is definitely something we take very seriously, and what I feel helps to set us apart from other avenues that you may choose to book with is that we do try to be very responsive. Of course, nothing is 24/7. We're not working around the clock. We are people, but we do try to be as responsive as possible. We would not want to wait for information, so we wouldn't want you to have to wait either. Definitely have like a 24-hour kind of window. If you haven't heard back from us in 24 hours and we haven't pre-established why that would be that long, definitely reach back out because you're email got lost in cyberspace or your voicemail didn't come through or something like that. That stuff does happen, by the way. So if you haven't heard back from us, definitely reach back out. But we usually don't even like to push it anywhere near 24 hours. We try to respond as quickly as we can. So we appreciate you appreciating that. All right, friends, that is going to do it for this installment of the TA Talk. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me for this series. Really having a good time doing it and can't wait to do even more. So again, if you have any ideas, feel free to shoot them our way as well as any of your questions or inquiries. And as always, I will leave you with the fact if you are interested in booking your own travels, maybe a cruise, maybe an all-inclusive resort stay at Sandals or Beaches, we can make that happen. It is completely free to you, no charges or fees or costs whatsoever. So feel free to reach out via that travel agent information that you can find in the description of this video. And with that, I'm going to sign off. I will see you next time for the next TA Talk. But until then, happy travels!